going for the structure. I couldn't see the structure, but I didn't see any underlying concerns that might indicate there's a structural issue. So that's
Interesting.
something for sure. When you're going through a house, taking a flashlight is a great idea, and check out all the door corners, bulkheads, anywhere there's a large span in the house. Just look for signs of cracking.
How do you tell the difference between, let's say, a settling crack and structural cracking?
Those are tough because they can be the same thing. That's where there's a lot of components you take into consideration. If the house is 30 years old and there's a tiny crack at the top of a door frame, I'm not going to be concerned about that because the house finished settling decades ago. If the house is 2 years old and there's a crack that's still there, I'd say, this might be a normal settlement crack. You're gonna have to keep an eye on this for the next couple of years to make sure it doesn't continue to expand. But generally, within a few years after the house is built, the house is finished settling into the ground, and those cracks aren't going to continue to show up. But a settlement crack can look the same as a shrinkage crack at a door frame too, especially when the house is newer. Your drywall, your wood, all the concrete in the house. It usually takes up to 3 years for all those materials to finish drying out. So that's part of the natural curing process of a home is drying out, and there's almost always going to be a few shrinkage and settlement cracks.
Speaking of which, I wanted to ask you about new homes, and new homes versus old homes. Obviously, there's the old saying that they don't build them like they used to, right? And when you're shopping for a home in Toronto or the GTA, you're really looking at different pockets that will have different aged homes that span decades apart.